Hello and welcome. Let's take a look at this set of Desert Shield cards from 1991. This is Operation Desert Shield by Pacific Trading Cards. And this, I believe, is the full 110 card set. Purchased for around $10, probably in 1991. And I'll open this vault of history, if you will, and we will experience what these cards are. I believe it's people, places, and things. So let's take a look, and we will start with, actually, let's work our way backwards. All right. We have the Marine Corps Jump Jet. That's the Harrier. All right, very cool. So let's look first at the cards themselves. We have this kind of a matte back. There's no gloss to it, just printing on it. And we have statistics about, the jet and what it looks like, how it performs. So it's pretty cool. And then the front is a really nice glossy photo finish, and the photo of the item that we were talking about. So, okay, very cool, very cool. And actually, I'm trying to think if it's easier to do. I guess we could do this way, yeah. All right. So here we have President George Bush. And there's the back. Vice President Dan Quayle. And the statistics there. General Colin Powell. See if I can get a good focus on these. There we go. Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the USO show. And boxer Thomas Hearns visits troops in the Sandy Desert. As part of that, the Marines dig in, quite literally, digging foxholes to defend howitzer emplacements. The backbone. Exercises in an abandoned village. And we have the airborne infantrymen. Paratroopers of the 82nd Airborne. Out on desert patrol. Ready for action. An 82nd Airborne officer. And we got Big Mo. Lieutenant Colonel Big Mo Mubarak, one of thousands of Kuwaitis fighting to free their country. Protection. Soldiers in their chemical protection gear. Mail call. Soldiers enjoying mail from home while on duty. We have, seems a bunch of horizontal frontline defenders. U.S. Marines in a fortified French position out in the desert. House-to-house action. Soldiers from the 101st Airborne trained for urban warfare. An evacuation exercise. Medics. The Sidewinder missile. Timeout for some fun. Paratroopers playing volleyball. We have a medical exercise. returning from patrol. 82nd Airborne, forming up. An FA-18 Hornet pilot and his wingman form up for an attack on enemy positions. Night fighter, American machine gunner using a night vision scope. Huge it looks like, but technology in 91 was very different. We have the Marine action. Hit the beach during a training exercise. And a casualty exercise. An F-15 Eagle. And now that we're getting to some of the equipment, we see photos in the back as well. That's pretty cool. The modern day Desert Rat. M1A1 Abrams coming off the transport right into the water. Hits the beach. 1,500 horsepower with a 4-speed automatic transmission. The multiple launch rocket system, the MLRS, M60A3 tank, Marine armor. That's the M60A3s. Here we have a M119, 105 millimeter howitzer under a camouflage net. We have Marine landing craft. Put down smoke screen while approaching the beach. It's pretty interesting to see the Scud missile, or a Patriot missile battery. And then preparation for some ordnance. Air cushioned landing craft. This was big at the time. They're almost like hovercraft that can go right over the sand. Marine light armored vehicle. The LAV, light armored vehicle, LAV-25. And Thanksgiving in the desert. Here we have President and Mrs. Bush share Thanksgiving 1990 with the GIs. And is that General Schwarzkopf behind him? It might be. A launcher on the Humvee. The TOW, tube launched, optically tracked wire command link guided. Maintenance on the move. Things going places. Maintenance convoy. Here's a 155 millimeter howitzer. And armor comes ashore. Marine Corps armored vehicles roll off a Navy amphibious craft. The Hawk missile. A Phase 3 Hawk. Home away from home. A tent city set up by the 82nd Airborne. And here's the M60 machine gun. And a chemical decontamination exercise. Mission-oriented protective posture. MOPP, MOP. The Phoenix AIM missile. Here we have the Knockout Punch, multiple launch rocket system. The Top Brass. Here we have America's top 2 soldiers, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Colin L. Powell, and Coalition Commander-in-Chief, General H. Norman Schwarzkopf. And we have here, that's a lot of smoke and pressure, an M198 howitzer. And here's the Sidewinders. The M551 Sheridan tank. And the Dragon strikes. Infantrymen preparing to fire a Dragon anti-tank weapon. Now we're getting into some of the naval elements. Here's the Dwight D. Eisenhower with a flight of A-7s on patrol. The USS Nimitz with 2 A-7 Corsairs on top. The USNS Mercy. The USS Missouri. And that is a battleship. The USS LaSalle. Command and control ship. And the aircraft carrier Saratoga, the USS Saratoga. The USS Forrestal. Aircraft carrier there. That's in the Suez Canal, passing through. And here we have the Foreign Minister of Kuwait and the Secretary of Defense for the U.S. Amphibious assault ship, the USS Iwo Jima. A close air defense drill with the Vice Admiral, commander of the 7th Fleet, trying his hand at a 25mm chain aboard the missile cruiser USS Antietam. And we have the Navy SEALs. It'd be cool if they recognize themselves having their own card. And they roll into the water, coming ashore. The U.S. Navy Amphibious Landing Craft. Landing Craft Air Cushion 1, LCAC. The battleship USS Iowa. Look at that firepower. 16 big ones. USS Boston. Getting into our submarines. It's on patrol. USS Wisconsin. The Harpoon cruise missile. First ashore. Trainees dressed in scuba gear with their M16s. They are the SEAL team, Sea, Air, Land team. The Prowler. The E-86B Prowler. F-16 Fighting Falcons doing exercises in Egypt. The C-5A Galaxy delivering cargo to American troops, loaded for action. You can see the Marine Corps AV-8B Harrier with a full load of ordnance. C-141B Starlifter. Brings cargo in over the desert. And here was the big new one at the time, the F-117A Stealth Fighter. "27 stealth fighters were the first aircraft to hit command and control centers." And here's a free Kuwait card, the Kuwaiti A4 Skyhawks. The S-3 Viking. The eyes and ears. The E-2C Hawkeye. Ready for attack. The A-7E Corsair II. And here's one in action. An A-6 Intruder. Launchers its laser-guided ordnance. UH-46 Sea Knight. Delivering ammo to the USS Eisenhower. And feeding the wild weasels. The F-4G Phantom. 2 refuels over Saudi Arabia. Fangs of the Cobra. An AH-1 Super Cobra. That's a fierce-looking, quick-moving helicopter. Recon Patrol. It's the S-3A Viking. And the F-14 Tomcat from the USS America. Here's a MiG's worst nightmare of an F-14 Tomcat patrolling the sky. And here's the F-117A Stealth Fighter. 52,500 pounds. Here we have the F-15 Eagle. On the runway. The F-111 Aardvark. An EF-111A Raven. An A-10 Warthog. The F-4 Phantom II. Nice to have the photo on the back as well. Thought there would have been more of those, though. They're a treat when we see them. The C-130 Hercules. All right, more of the photos on back. A-10 Thunderbolt II. Looks like it's refueling on that photo. The B-52 Stratofortress. A-6 Intruders in formation. The F-14A Tomcat. The A-7E Corsair II. Flying over the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower. Here we have the F-16 Fighting Falcon. The FA-18 Hornet. The SH-60 Seahawk helicopter. Returning to an aircraft carrier. The CH-47 Chinook. A well-used transport helicopter. The F-4 Phantom Jet. Dropping a lot of ordnance as it goes. the B-52G with cruise missiles, the Tomahawk cruise missile, wow, Tomahawk cruise missile being launched from a Navy Spruance class destroyer. And there's a Tomahawk cruise missile landing on a target. And a Harpoon cruise missile being launched from a destroyer. The USS Wisconsin launching a Harpoon missile. F-4Gs over Bahrain. The FA-18 fires the Sidewinder. And Saudi Air Force pilots in a Kuwaiti A-4. And the AV-8B Harrier. And the Marine Corps Harrier jump jet. So there we go. There is a look completely through the 110 card set from the 1991 Pacific Trading Cards Operation Desert Shield collection. So a look into history, a look into some of the unique card designs in this particular set. I hope you learned something. Hope you had some fun. And there you have it. Until next time.